Hello, this is Roy Michael, Channel 21 News here in Hemet. I'm interviewing Tom Lodge. He is running for City Council in District 3. Um, please pay attention to this. He's got a lot of good information. We've had a good conversation earlier over the last few weeks, and he's brought up a lot of information that I think you really, really need to listen to. All right, Tom, my first question for you is real simple. Why are you running?
Well, I moved to Hemet in 1988, and there was about 50,000 people in the entire valley. And it was great. It was quiet. Everybody kept after everybody else. It was very down-home feeling, and it's just hasn't become that anymore. And it's to the point where for 3.5 years now, I live over in Sierra Dawn. 3.5 years now, we have not had any streetlights. Been to current city council meetings for about 2.5 years, and nothing's been done yet. The current incumbent for our District 3 never acknowledged my existence, never said, I've talked to you, give me a call, I'll talk to you after the meeting, whatever. That's why I'm running, because that's ridiculous.
And your current incumbent is?
Oh, Malcolm Linenthal.
Okay. Just want to get that for the record.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm sorry. And the city has no rudder, it seems like at the moment. They're going all over the place, and we've got to condense our thinking down to what's good for the city, not what's good for everybody who's trying to take part in the city. We got to get back to the citizens. That's pretty much it.
All right, excellent. What a great answer. What is your stance on the current warehouse situation in Hemet?
The current warehouse situation in Hemet it's exploding, and I don't know where it's going, but it's got to be reined in. I would get an immediate review on the current warehouse projects and to make sure that they're in line with Assembly Bill 98. So there's at least 1,000-foot buffer zone between a resident and the warehouse itself, warehouse property line. Our infrastructure just is not made for heavy-duty trucks. We do not have easy, simple freeway access without them going through a good portion of town where they're proposing these warehouses. And that's, that's the roads themselves are just not built for it. It costs so much money to repair them as it is. And we got a rainy season coming up to begin with. The roads we have right now are in huge disrepair, and we don't have the money for those. I'd also want a detailed review of the city's general plan on where they're going to put these proposed warehouses in accordance to established places like Lakes of Hemet. You can't put one right next to a residential place. It's just wrong. The one on Kirby that they approved, the planning commission, I don't know how they got it through, but they did.
Well, I understand there was no environmental impact report done on that, which I always thought was required.
I always thought so too. And I also thought that there had to be a general meeting with the public, a public hearing meeting on this, and I never heard of one happening. Whether it did or not, it's beyond me, but I don't see one happening. We got to revise the process to where the city council has final say-so on any warehouse buildings, any warehouse projects, because otherwise they can hide behind an unelected planning commission and change zones, and nobody knows what's really going on. The one they're proposing right next to Lakes of Hemet, 1 million square feet. That's 15 football fields. That's huge. Think about it that way. 335 trucks a day minimum in 24 hours a day. Where are they going to go? We don't have the roads. I don't see a developer building a road just for the trucks. It's not going to happen. So the city is in a point right now where they have to step back, look at the general plan, look at everything that they want to do, I mean, every city needs a diversified economy. And there is a place for warehouses, but it's not right next to a residential. The one on Kirby, you've got to the south is a residential area with a park, Mary Henley Park. East is another residential. To the north is an RV park. What I just really want to ask them, what are you thinking? You know, I mean, this is just wrong. And so we need somebody to step up to the city itself. And we've got to check ourselves. We're getting too out of line. And I think the budget is, you've got an $80 million budget, 72% go to police and fire. And that leaves the city with nothing to do the roads, to do upkeep itself. We've got empty buildings along our main street, down Florida Avenue. We have trash all over. We have to clean up the city if we want to bring in better businesses. And we have to keep it clean. There are groups out there now that are cleaning the city, and there's a beautification program going on. We need to coordinate everybody instead of them doing a certain area, you know, once a month or whatever. We need to, first thing, we need a mass cleanup. It's what we need. A bunch of dump trucks and a bunch of pickers and a bunch of bags and a bunch of volunteers, and I hope we get them, because otherwise it's an uphill battle. And we have to get back to the simpler things. I mean, technology is great, but we're getting too far ahead of ourselves, and we're not planning out exactly how the city should be laid out. So the general plan needs a good looking at. And we need to rezone some places.
Speaking of zoning, I understand that at the Lakes at Hemet West, where the Hemet Logistics West warehouse project is proposed, is going to require the city council to change the zoning on it.
Yeah.
Now, you had mentioned on that California law AB 98, which I'm sorry to say doesn't actually go into effect till January 2026. So there's a giant loophole there that you could drive, 10,000 semi trucks through. And they are going to have to change the zoning on it.
Yes.
And again, Lakes at Hemet West is a 55 plus elderly community.
Right.
I mean, it's like a 160-acre nursing home if you really think about it.
Never thought of it that way, but okay.
I mean, and because I'm real familiar with it. And they're going to have to vote on that publicly to change the zoning.
Right.
Now, you had mentioned some things about some campaign contributions.
Yeah, those have been recently brought to my attention that if you follow the money on a couple of councilmen that are up for re-election, Malcolm being one of them, it goes back to the developers, the warehouse developers themselves. And I hate to say it, but the city of Hemet needs to be informed of these things.
How much was that contribution?
$35,000.
$35,000. You know,
Yes.
I have looked through Form 97's that's the official form when contribution is made. That is by far the largest. That's far more than probably the other two that are running have gotten to.
It's unreal.
And you say they're directly connected to warehouse developers?
Yes, they are. And he has voted publicly not to have no warehouses in town. In fact, his stance is there should not be any warehouses inside the city limits. But he voted for the Kirby project, which we know is a disaster happening. Mm-hmm. And since this money is coming in from these developers, which way is his vote going to go? I mean, you really got to question. The citizens have to question on what's happening and where. Mm-hmm. All these things are public records. All they got to do is look them up. Okay. So it's scary.
Yeah. Now, just south of the Lakes at Hemet West warehouse project that's being proposed is another project, the Warren Simpson project. Now, I looked at the original notice of preparation for it, and they rated it as a road improvement project they didn't really even mention until you got all the way down to the fine print that there was going to be a massive warehouse there. I'm really worried about the transparency here.
There is none. It doesn't seem like, and if there is, it's very, very shaded. Because, okay, it sounds good in the beginning. We're going to improve the road. We're going to give you sidewalks right across the street from the Del Webb housing development. I mean, literally right across the street, they're going to put in a warehouse. But they don't tell you that until the very end. Not many people read it all the way through. So they're thinking, okay, this is great for us. We're going to have great roads.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you about the other 280 trucks that are going to come in and out of there 24 hours a day.
Okay, the Del Webb project you're talking about, is it across Domenegone, or is it on Simpson?
It's on Warren Road and Mustang.
Okay.
Of the Solara project.
Okay.
The housing development. And they just built, and I can't remember the name of the housing development, right across the street from them, right across Mustang from them. Those family
Something
homes.
Point?
Yes.
Saddlebrook Point?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And those are family homes. You're going to have all the pollution from these trucks. You're going to have the noise. You're going to have the mass amounts of road damage. It's just, they are not. And these warehouses don't bring in any money for the city. Several parcels of land have been annexed. So 75% of the property tax goes to the county. City only gets 25%. There's no sales tax in there. So we're basically, in my opinion, giving away land so they can put up these ungodly looking buildings and destroy the view that we have. I mean, we've got a great view of the mountains. And it's like, who wants to drive into town and see a mega warehouse with, 20, 30, 40 trucks pulling in and out at a time? And you want to live here? These people have invested their life savings in this town to buy a home here. And you're going to destroy it with all these trucks? I don't know of anybody who wants to live near a warehouse. I don't know anybody who wants to have all the diesel exhaust. Yes, there are places for them, but not in the residential areas that they're proposed. It's just, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah. In that California law you had mentioned, AB 98, one of the specific things that it brings up is warehouses have to be established or are built along established truck routes where there is already a lot of activity with trucks and things like that. It's already accepted, it's already fitted in. Now, particularly in the Simpson Road, that's not a truck route.
No.
It's a farm. That's where I buy my strawberries. And at Lakes and Hemet West, Acacia Boulevard, which is just between Florida Avenue, then Acacia, and then there's the warehouses there.
Right.
That in order for it to be an established truck route, the biggest problem is that half of Acacia that is right in front of this project is a dirt road.
Yes, it is.
And now how do they explain, well, this is an established, it's not.
How could that be established? Doesn't Caltrans have to come in and establish that?
Yeah, but the problem is this law doesn't go into effect. Now, fortunately, September 20th of this year was the last day that anybody could apply for a new project.
Correct.
So we're clean there. There ain't no more coming in.
Right.
All right?
Excuse me.
That's not a problem. Tubular bells, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, it's a dirt road. And then you've got 27 eucalyptus trees there.
Right.
That their arborist report states, oh, they're all dead. Well, I just walked through them the other day. They're all alive. There are literally millions of nice green leaves there. They're literally talking about, destroying paradise.
Exactly.
And taking all these trees and putting in a parking lot.
Yeah.
They're going to pave paradise, put in a parking lot.
I was going to say,
I was trying to get to.
Okay, that's the song I was trying to come up with.
I'm actually a better interviewer than this. But anyway, I appreciate this.
It's just, I've got so many questions, and all of them are going to start with why.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never run for anything before in my life. And this scenario that's happening in town has forced me to just step up and throw my hat in the ring and say, look, folks, things aren't right, and we've got to stop them while we can, because otherwise we're going to be overrun and not even know what's happening. I don't know where to go from there. That's all I can do.
I appreciate that. Well, hopefully enough people see this video where they'll give you an opportunity.
All right.
Now, some
I hope
people
so.
have already voted. It's a shame that this is coming through this late, but you know, I appreciate what you're saying, and I understand where you're coming from. And as a journalist, I'm not supposed to be partial, but I feel the same way you do.
Well, thank you. And I hope a lot of people out there do.
Okay.
Win, lose, or draw, I'm still going to be a pain in the city's behind because it's got to be done. I'm not giving up whether I win or not.
Excellent. Okay.
All right.
Mr. Lodge, thank you very much for agreeing to the interview.
Of course.
And ladies and gentlemen, please watch this. Please share it with your friends in District 3 because that's where Tom is running against the other candidates. And please like and subscribe. Signing off. Roy Michael, Channel 21. And this is Teej, my kitty. Okay.